It was a day etched forever in my memory. The sun was setting over the hills of Galilee, casting long shadows on the road as a man rode frantically toward Cana. This man was no ordinary traveler. He was an officer in King Herod's service, a man of rank and authority. But his heart was heavy with fear and desperation. In Capernaum, his boy had been unwell for days. The finest physicians had tried everything, but the sickness had spread quickly, leaving the boy frail and lifeless. The doctors had given up. There was nothing more they could do. They whispered the dreadful words to the officer, "Prepare for the worst." But the officer, stricken with grief and desperate love for his child, was not ready to accept it. Rumors had reached his ears that a man named Jesus was back in Galilee, a man who performed miracles no one could explain. "They say he turned water into wine at a wedding," people whispered. "They say the lame walk, the blind see. He's no ordinary teacher." It was the only sliver of hope left for the officer, and so we set off for Cana, where Jesus was said to be. Without a second thought, he mounted his horse and set out on the long journey to Cana. As he rode, he prayed, clinging to a sliver of hope that somehow this man could save his son. When he reached Cana, he found Jesus surrounded by people, each waiting for a moment of his attention. The officer, disheveled and weary from his ride, made his way through the crowd. When he finally reached Jesus, he fell to his knees. "Sir," he pleaded, "come down before my child dies." There was silence as everyone turned to see the nobleman, a man of power and prestige, begging at Jesus' feet. His desperation was palpable, his voice cracked with grief. This sickness was no ordinary illness. It was taking his son swiftly, cruelly, and he had no power to stop it. But he believed, in that desperate moment, that Jesus might. Jesus looked at him, his eyes filled with compassion, and spoke words that hung in the air like a promise. "Go," he said, "your son will live." The crowd was stunned. Jesus hadn't moved a step toward Capernaum, hadn't even seen the boy, yet he spoke as if it was already done. The officer's heart pounded with a mixture of hope and doubt. Could he really believe this? But Jesus' voice carried a certainty, a power that he couldn't deny. Gathering what little hope he had left, the officer nodded, stood, and turned back toward home, clinging to Jesus' words. The journey back was agonizingly slow, each mile filled with tension as he wondered, "Will my son truly live?" But as he neared Capernaum, he saw his servants rushing toward him along the road. Fear seized him. Was he too late? Had his son already? But as they reached him, the servants' faces were not filled with grief, but with joy. "Your son lives," they exclaimed. The words hit him like a flood. He could barely breathe, overwhelmed by both relief and astonishment. He had to know, when did he begin to get better? "Yesterday at the 7th hour," they replied. The fever left him. In that instant, the officer realized it was the very moment Jesus had spoken those words, "Your son will live." His belief turned to awe. His son, his boy who had been slipping away, had been healed with just a word from Jesus. It was impossible, unthinkable, yet there it was, undeniable. The officer's heart swelled with gratitude, reverence, and a new faith that he carried back to his household. He gathered his family, telling them of the miracle, and from that day, they all believed in the power of Jesus. For anyone facing sickness today, anyone who feels there's no hope left, know this: the same Jesus who healed that boy in Capernaum still heals today. He is the giver of life, the healer of every disease, and his word is as powerful now as it was then. If you call out to him with faith, just as the officer did for his son, he will answer. No sickness is too great, no diagnosis too terminal for the one who spoke life into that boy. Today, Jesus is ready to heal and give you new life, just as he did in Capernaum. All you need to do is call on him. Trust in his power, for he will not let you down. Let his word speak life into your situation, for he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The healer of Capernaum is here for you.